Chapter 18. Stirring the atmosphere. This was the fourth spirit beast Steely. If one paid close attention, they would notice that at this moment, across the other 9 stone stelas, only a single sigil occupied the top position, a treasure vase. A thunderous cheer erupted, shaking heaven and earth. Haha, Senior Sister Ka has succeeded. I told you, Senior Sister Ka would surely establish a brand new legend, one never before seen in history. As expected of xianxia, born with the wood-type spirit vein, her future is beyond imagination. Senior Sister Ku, we await the day you become number 1 on all 10 stelas, creating a precedent in Spirit Creek sect history. Let the drums of glory resound across the entire sect. The voices of countless outer sect disciples rang out, shaking the skies. Although a few among them wore gloomy faces and spoke sour words, their voices were drowned in the deafening waves of admiration. In the eyes of the outer sect, xianxia shone like the blazing sun at midday. She was the pride of fragrant Cloud Mountain, the very embodiment of its spirit. Even xianxia herself, usually as cold as frost, could not help but smile. Surrounded by such fanfare, she felt a rare flicker of pride within. That faint smile caused the cheers around her to grow even louder. Among the crowd, Bai Shaochen gazed at her with mixed emotions. He sighed softly, then lifted his head toward the first spirit plant Steely. One glance and his eyes went wide. Hastily pulling out his jade slip, he discovered that beyond the initial 10,000 herbs, it now contained knowledge of an additional 10,000. Ecstatic, his chest swelled with pride. He looked back at the first spirit plant Steely where, to his delight, a little black turtle sigil stood proudly above the treasure vase. It was bold, rough, and oddly pleasing to the eye. Originally, he had planned to leave, but now he lingered, suppressing the excitement bubbling in his chest. He prepared himself to hear the cheers directed at him, but no matter how long he waited, the crowd's attention remained fixed on xianxia. No one even spared a glance at the spirit plant Steely. Xianxia herself was already preparing to leave. Anxious, Bai Shaochun's eyes darted around. Suddenly, he cupped his hands around his mouth and shouted in a high-pitched voice. Everyone, look at the first spirit plant Steely. How strange the one on top isn't Senior Sister Q anymore. Who carved that majestic black turtle seal? His sharp cry pierced through the cheers. The words themselves were too shocking, instantly drawing attention. Countless heads turned involuntarily, only to freeze in disbelief. Faces went pale. Gasps filled the air. Impossible. Someone surpassed Senior Sister Catch, Q, by the heavens. Someone actually beat her. Who is this person? And that ugly black turtle sigil, who carved it? Someone dared to challenge xianxia in plant refinement. This is huge. Senior Sister Chu is now only number 1 on 8 The crowd burst into uproar, louder than even the cheers from earlier. Bai Shaochun stood there, chest puffed with pride, though he dared not admit openly it was his doing. Instead, he simply kept shouting along with the others, feigning shock while secretly savoring the attention. Truthfully, even he had not expected to seize the top spot. At that moment, xianxia, who had been about to leave, stiffened. The noise from the crowd reached her ears, and when she turned her gaze toward the first spirit plant Steely, she saw it, the black turtle seal, firmly pressed above her own treasure vase. Her brows furrowed, but then quickly relaxed. Her heart remained calm. After all, the record she had set was from long ago, when she had only just entered the outer sect. She had not used her full power back then. Now, her skills were far beyond what they once were. A decent seedling has appeared in the sect, she murmured softly. Then, without hesitation, her figure blurred and she stepped into the wooden hut beneath the Steely. The crowd boiled with excitement. Senior Sister Chu is reclaiming her rightful place. That black turtle seal won't last long. That's right. To reach first place even briefly is already incredible, but against Senior Sister Chu, it's nothing more than bad luck. Bai Shaochun, however, felt his heart tighten. On one hand, he was nervous that he hadn't assembled all the herbs perfectly. On the other, xianxia's reputation was simply too terrifying. It doesn't matter. Second place is fine too. A true gentleman doesn't fight with women, he muttered to himself, but he stayed. He couldn't leave. Soon, one stick of incense burned away. When xianxia finally emerged, the black turtle sigil still reigned supreme. The crowd went silent. xianxia's expression was frosty, yet she was confident. She had reassembled over 4,000 herbs, surely more than enough to reclaim her position. Yet the sigil above had not changed. Murmurs swept the crowd. How many herbs did that black turtle fellow assemble? Xianxia's phoenix eyes narrowed. Without a word, she entered again. Time passed. Once, twice, thrice. Each time she emerged, her expression grew darker, her eyes bloodshot, yet the turtle remained unmoved. The disciples watched, breathless. Each failure only heightened the mystique of the black turtle's sigil, until whispers spread that it carried some hidden power. By the time Xianxia staggered out on her 7th attempt, pale and exhausted, the crowd was in awe. Even Bai Shaochun, standing amidst them, was dumbfounded. She really can't beat me, he thought, eyes wide. He wanted nothing more than to announce his name for all to hear, but fear of trouble kept him silent. Instead, he coughed loudly, trying to look mysterious. Inside, though he was bursting with joy, HMPH one day, in front of 10,000 witnesses, I'll reveal that it was I, Bai Shaochun, who claimed first place. As the moon rose high, Kachu Tianchi finally left, defeated but with the black turtle deeply imprinted in her heart. The story spread like wildfire. Within a single night, every disciple of Fragrant Cloud Mountain had heard of the mysterious black turtle seal. The very next morning, Ku Chanchi returned. And again the day after. And the day after that. For 7 days straight, she fought bitterly, pushing her skills to their limit, even surpassing herself, yet she never surpassed the turtle. At most, she reached 7 or 8,000 herbs, still far from enough. At last, after her final attempt, her eyes dimmed. Looking up at the crude black turtle, she whispered, "Who are you?" Then, with a long sigh, she turned and left. But from that day onward, the black turtle seal was carved deeply into the memory of every disciple in Spirit Creek sect.